I remember living with my mom too as a single mother. Her furnace was like, it was like when the furnace goes out, it's like the world stops.
Yeah.
And is it really that complicated? Like, do we have to stop the world when the furnace goes out, or should we just call somebody?
That's key.
Hey, what's up? It's Brandon with NCCTV, and today we're on site talking with Dan again about a lot of different furnace options. They've got two Lennox units here, and they appear to be the same, but maybe there's some differences that I'm unaware of, and we'll let Dan kind of explain some of the differences between these furnaces and other furnace options that exist out there on the market today.
So we are fortunate to work with Lennox as our partner in the HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning business. We've got a couple of furnaces on display in our showroom, and they actually heat our building. So they're real working displays. And these particular furnaces are variable speed furnaces with ECM motors. So they're continuous variability. They're the Lennox SLP series, or the Signature series. And they provide a very even source of heat throughout the home. They allow HVAC technicians to adjust and set up the blower speeds and the amount of capacity that the furnace has, and they're a very efficient operation. The new Lennox SLP series operates at 99% AFUE. And so that's the most efficient furnace that you can buy in the industry. Can't get better than that.
So I'm retrofitting my house, let's say,
Yeah.
and I'm looking to upgrade my furnace. I've got a mid-efficient furnace and I'm looking to upgrade. Is there a size requirement for every home, and who figures that out?
The key with the retrofit business or the furnace replacement business is to engage with a professional. That person will come into the home and figure out exactly what are the needs of the house. Talk to the homeowners, ask if there's any specific deficiencies in the existing equipment, and then provide a proposal on replacing an existing furnace with a brand new one, so as to maximize its efficiency and its comfort level. And those are really the two key considerations: are maximizing the efficiency of the product so that the costs are as low as they can be to operate, and then to maximize the comfort level of the people in the home. Try and get rid of the hot and cold spots throughout the house, and to provide maximum comfort.
Let's say that we were retrofitting this furnace into my space and my ducting didn't line up with this ducting. How do you accommodate the different sizes? Because obviously this furnace is, let's say it's from 2020, and the furnace that you're replacing is from the 80s.
And sometimes they're from the 40s.
From the 40s.
So there are, over the years, there's been many different configurations of furnaces. Some are called a low boy, some are called a high boy, some the return cabinets come in the back of them, some the side of them. So when we're on site assessing and determining what's required, we would take our measurements and build duct transitions or elbows or anything else that's needed to reconnect to the existing home's ductwork.
And you do that all in-house here? Like you would manufacture all of this stuff here?
We do. In our shop in the back of our building, we have a plasma table, so we kind of tell it what we want to build, put a sheet of metal onto the plasma table, and then it'll cut out anything that we need to adapt from the existing to the new, so that it's not kind of off the shelf, make it work type stuff. It's custom manufactured for this homeowner's house.
How many times have you come into somebody else knowing a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that can swap out my furnace, and then you walk in and you realize that they went to Home Depot and bought some tin, threw it all together and kind of wrapped it in tape and called it a day?
It happens. And we're proud when we can turn that into a professional looking installation.
I actually had a customer the other day, the house that we renovated over in Olive Grove, and we were reviewing their furnace that was installed by a friend of a friend, I believe. There was a nest of wires, and it looked like somebody tried to replace the thermostat about 7 times. There's also some problems going on with the board and a bunch of other things. So they've kind of lived through this whole process for the past couple of years. They explained the story to me the other day, and I remember living with my mom too as a single mother. She her furnace was like, it was like when the furnace goes out, it's like the world stops.
Yeah.
And is it really that complicated? Like, do we have to stop the world when the furnace goes out, or should we just call somebody?
That's key. The products to achieve the 99% AFUE, or annual fuel utilization efficiency, to achieve that, it's some pretty high-tech stuff. The controlled combustion. Basically, we're burning gas inside of this metal box, and we're trying to get all of the possible heat out of that burning gas. We're efficiently, we're taking as much heat out of that we're actually condensing the water out of those exhaust products. So they're called condensing furnaces, because we're condensing all of the water out of them too, and the water goes down the drain. So with all of that equipment and technology in it, really is key to have a partner company in the HVAC business that you can call on to properly maintain and support the equipment.
I remember that I was always confused how the exhaust pipes can be built out of plastic, but originally the mid-efficient furnaces had a steel pipe because it would actually emit heat, and whereas these pipes, there's no heat. So that would tell me that we're turning basically all the flame that's fired into actual heat, and the exhaust that's coming out would, I guess, be the emissions?
Just some combustion byproducts, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and oxygen, and that's really like when we're getting all of the good out of the natural gas. We're getting 99% of the capacity of that gas to produce heat, and we're keeping it in the house and distributing it through the house. Very little of it, 1% of the heat value, is actually traveling out the direct combustion pipes to the outside.
Is there like a valve system that you can control the heat flow from each floor? And how does that kind of work when you're trying to distribute the heat equally between each floor? Because I know in an older house that I had, the third floor or the second floor was extremely hot in the summer, and so I'm out there adjusting registers, trying to control that heat. Is there a better way of doing that?
One of the tools that we have in new construction and some significant renos is to provide a zoning package to the house where we can have multiple zones. Say a set of bedrooms on the second floor can have their own thermostat. That thermostat is connected to a zone control board. The zone control board tells the damper to open and close, and also tells the furnace what rate to fire at. We can have, say, a common area, a kitchen living space that is on one zone, and that thermostat can be set, and so the furnace will work to maintain the set temperature in each one of those different areas, instead of having a thermostat located on one part of the house. Traditionally, thermostats were terribly located because they used to be ugly.
Yeah.
Thermostats now are really cool looking things, either the Nest or the Ecobee or the Honeywell. They're functional. Most of them are Wi-Fi adaptable, so that you can control them with your smartphone, so they don't need to be hidden around in a back mudroom. That was one of the designer's tricks in years past, that the thermostat really was located because it had to be, but it was often located in poor locations on the main floor of a two-story house, in a mudroom area, kind of off a kitchen, behind a fridge, all kinds of terrible places for thermostats. And so that gives consistent trouble with the temperature in upstairs rooms. What we found on a two-story home is to have the thermostat located in the upstairs common area, so that it's not artificially satisfied by the things that are happening on the main floor throughout the evening. The cooking, the cleaning, the dishwasher, the fridge running, the fireplace running, all of these things happen on main floors, and so then the owners then travel up their stairs at the end of the day, and it's 6 degrees cooler in their bedroom, and then our phone starts to ring because it's uncomfortable. So thermostat location is vital, and even some additional sensors, room sensors on thermostats, are a good tool for us to be able to provide maximum comfort.
If you put a little bit of time and effort into it and educate yourself and probably hire the right contractor, you can solve a lot of those problems.
Key is a contractor that's got the experience to know to deal with the sizing, doing the proper load calculations in the rooms, figuring out what rate the heat's going to leave the particular room, and then sizing the ductwork accordingly to that. Being able to be in a relationship with a general contractor that understands that when an HVAC contractor says that we need to have a supply duct chase or a return duct chase or a mechanical wall, that they understand that that's not something that we're asking for because we're complaining or whining, but they understand that it's necessary to support the system.
I think we've touched on a lot of different topics with furnaces, and we can talk about a little bit more of those on site, maybe one day when they're doing an install or a retrofit. So please like and subscribe to this video and share it out.